It is a dark and dreary day and very cold. But not in this kitchen. It is nothing but light and happy. And you know where it starts? Right here, y'all. Bacon. Lots of bacon. Y'all, buckle up. We're about to have us some fun. Y'all, today we are making one of Joel's all-time favorites. Mine too, especially on a cold, wet, muddy day. I'm over the mud. We are making loaded bacon cheddar bread. I know, right? So the first thing I want to do is grate some cheese. Now, the recipe calls for about 2¼ cup. Guys, that is such a loose measurement, okay? I always add more. Always add more. I'm just going to grind this up real quick. The dogs are outside right now. I made them go out. If it were up to them, they'd be hanging out on the couch all day watching cartoons, y'all. Not up in here. We got work to do. We got work to do. So they needed to go outside. It's not raining at the moment. If I hear it start raining, I'll bring them in. Because I'm not a mean dog mom like that. Ta-da! Disassemble my thingy here. So this loaded bacon cheddar bread, it pairs beautifully with whatever you want to throw at it. I am making a big pot of potato soup tonight. And y'all, to me, potato soup is not potato soup unless you put cheese and bacon in it. That sounds like a lot of cheese and bacon, doesn't it? But it's really not. It's 100% comfort food. In the bowl of my stand mixer, I'm putting 3¼ cup warm water. That's the basis for it all right there. And I'm going to add, I'm trying to get organized. Good luck with that. To that warm water, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and give that a little stir to dissolve the sugar well. All right. Now to that sugary water, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of rapid rise yeast. And you can use the instant, you can use the rapid, you can use regular yeast. It doesn't really matter. The only difference it makes is in the amount of time it takes to proof. I mean, when it's rapid rise or instant, you don't really have to proof it. I do. I want to make sure it's active. But it makes a difference in the amount of time that it takes for your bread to rise. I'm all about saving time, y'all. I cut the time corners wherever I can. Two teaspoons of yeast. All right, we're going to let that get foamy. We're going to let it, and it should only take a few minutes. It's already starting to foam up. Y'all want to see that? Let me show you. See, it's already starting to get foamy. We're gonna let it get a little bit foamier. We've enjoyed over the last few days, we've enjoyed some really warm temperatures. Oh man, it's been bliss. It gave me the itch to get out in the garden for sure, but I know better. A lot of the homesteaders that are around here they're pretty new to the area still. Back in the day when I used to live here, it never failed. You would get either ice or snow in February, and then completely out of the blue, you'd get a big snowstorm somewhere around the middle to end of March. The snow would only hang out for a couple of days, but yeah. Arkansas has been very gentle the last several years. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to kind of get back to a little bit more normal this year. I think we're going to get it. And they're calling for us for ice and rain and everything else over the next several days. After enjoying close to 80 and 80, yeah, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. So yesterday, I got busy. I'm seriously busy. I rearranged and cleaned the living room. Yeah, cleaning wasn't enough. I decided, you know what, let's just change the furniture around. So I did that. And now, with as muddy as it's been here, we have big dogs. You guys know that. East or west, they like the couch best. Y'all, I have got to do a total clean on that couch. So I'm going to be tackling that this afternoon. Holy smagoli, those dogs. Now what we're going to do, now that it's nice and foamy, so we know it's active, I have a little bit more than 6 cups of flour here. I'm going to leave a little bit in this bowl just to flour stuff with. But I'm starting out with 6 cups of all-purpose flour. Just dump it in there, y'all. And we're going to get to mixing. Now, once the flour is getting mixed in there, that's when I add my salt. Salt kills the yeast. So I add the salt, a teaspoon, as the flour is already incorporating in. It just makes me feel like my yeast is a little safer, a little more protected. Okay, to that, we're going to add some fresh ground black pepper. That's kind of a preference thing. There's not really a measurement on how much pepper. About as much as you think your family would like. I do it to eyeball. But if I were to guess, I'd say it's a good teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. And we're going to cut up. I cooked up the bacon this morning in preparation for this recipe. And it's about 8 strips of bacon. You can use thin sliced or you can use the thick. I use the thick slab. That's all I get around here. On cold, icky days like this, anything that calls for bacon, as a rough guesstimate, I'm probably going to double the amount because I know that my dearly beloved is working his tail off and he doesn't get the joy of being here in the kitchen while it's smelling all good. I know how much he likes this bacon cheddar bread in my potato soup. So I wanted to do something a little nice for him. 100% comfort food, guys. Now I want to point out that this dough is going to be what is called shaggy. It's a very loose dough. Don't worry about it. It's messy, and you're going to wonder how the heck it's going to come together. But I promise you, in the end, it comes together beautifully. So I'm just tossing my bacon off in here. And I am going to reserve probably 2 slices chopped bacon for the tops. And guys, this is one of those quick breads. It is a yeast bread, but it's also a quick bread that you can throw together pretty quickly. And it makes, this makes 2 loaves at a time. Oh, the smell of bacon. I just love it. All right, the rest of this bacon I think I'm going to reserve for the top of my loaves. So just put that over there. Put that over there. Okay. And the last thing we're going to add will be our cheese. So again, this is about 2.5 cups of cheese. And again, guys, this is a really wet dough. Now I'm leaving about that much to go with the bacon to go on top of my loaves. We're just going to take a minute to just wipe down the sides of the bowl. Make sure that everything's getting in there good. This is not going to pull away from the sides of the bowl. It's a very wet, very shaggy dough. And it looks like a terrible mess. But guys, trust me, it comes together in the end. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to preheat my oven to my lowest temperature setting, which on mine is 175 degrees. I'm not going to let it get all the way up to 175. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to get it nice and warm because we're going to raise this dough next. And the moisture content must be pretty high in my kitchen this morning. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour because I'm not, while it is a wet dough, it shouldn't be that wet. Let me show you what we're looking for. See, it is not going to pull away from the sides of the bowl, but at this point, it's still really super wet. Yeah, see, there's too much slump to it, okay? So we're just gonna keep mixing. And I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to it, just until I feel like I've got enough. I'm adding about a 1/4 cup more. You want to do it a little at a time. You don't want to add a whole lot. Too much flour added is going to make it a tough bread. So I'm just keeping a close eye on it. When I feel like it's at that peak consistency where it's still shaggy, it's still messy looking, but all the flour is incorporated and it's not completely liquefying when I turn off the beater. That's what I'm going for. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scrape down the sides again. Okay, and I'm reaching over and I'm turning off my oven. I don't want it to get any warmer than that. I want it to stay about 100 degrees. That's where I want it. Okay, that's about where I want it. I'm going to get it cleaned off the bar here. Okay. Pull it off my stand. Let me see if I like what I'm looking at here. And I am finding that to be still a little too wet for my taste. So we're going to add about another quarter cup. I'm going to incorporate that in, work it in. Yeah, that's going to do it. Okay, so the recipe called for three and a quarter, no, golly. Called for 6 cups of flour. If I said something different earlier, just ignore me. 6 cups of flour. I'm using closer to 7 because it's very humid in my kitchen this morning. Okay, it's still a very shaggy dough, but it's coming together. It's holding. Okay. Just want to get that. There we go. Okay. See how shaggy that is? Guys, I promise, it looks like a disaster. It looks like an epic fail, but it comes together beautifully. So don't fret. All right, let's pop this in our oven. We're going to let it rise until it's about double in size. Oh yeah, perfect temp. Just going to leave it cracked. We're going to let it do its thing. It's going to grow. It's going to get happy. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, it should be good and proof now. So let's go ahead and pull our dough out of the oven. Yeah. It's good and doubled. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to lightly flour our countertop here. These countertops may not be ideal for everybody, but I absolutely love them. There are no crevices, no cracks, no texture to get stuff stuck in and, bacteria. All right. And then also while the dough was rising, I went ahead and I prepared 2 loaf pans over here. And you can use spray oil, you can use just a light coating of oil, whatever you have on hand. Remember, this is a messy dough. And we're not necessarily kneading it per se. We're kind of working with it a little bit to get all the gluten activated, and but it's not really, I'm not really kneading it. Oh, it's either a weather alert or I've got something coming today. Probably the latter. I'm using a scrape because this is such a messy dough. I just kind of want to get it pulled together. All of that goodness going on. So I would say, all in all, on a humid day, you're going to use all of 7 cups of flour. Now we're going to divide this dough in half. Doesn't need to be perfect. Grab one of my pans. And just drop it in there. We're just going to squitch it out so it goes to the corners of the pan. And there's one. And here comes 2. Now, maybe you'll go through 2 loaves of this with your family in a few days. But if you're not going to use both loaves, hey, don't worry about it. It freezes beautifully. Just wrap it tightly and pop it in your freezer. Guys, it's really good. Toasted. Made into grilled cheese. All right, we're going to put these back in our oven. And it's still warm in here a little bit. It's just fine. And we're going to let it go ahead and rise again till it's double in size. Then we're going to turn our oven on to 350, let it preheat, and we're going to bake it for about 30 minutes. So we're going to let it rise first, and then I'll be back in just a minute. See you in a minute. It's been about 20 minutes now. I think she's risen enough. It's time to dress her and then get her baked. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty so far. They're about to get dressed up in their Sunday best. We're going to preheat the oven once again to 350 degrees. And let's get to decorating all this, huh? Everything's better with bacon on it, don't you think? It does not get any better than this. On a cold, wet, muddy day? Yeah. Now, Joel likes this. Excuse me, when I make cheese fondue, he likes me to cube this up, lightly toast it, season it a little bit. It's a little over the top for my taste, but he likes it. I'm also going to take some smoked salt and I'm going to sprinkle that right on top as well. This is optional, guys, completely optional. And finally, our cheese that we have left over here. Look at that. Yum. Ola. So then again, like I said, we're going to pop this into a 350-degree oven. I must have shook up the dust in this house cleaning yesterday, y'all. Anyway, so 350-degree oven, Fahrenheit, of course, for about 30 minutes. It just all depends. So what you want to do is add about 20 minutes. You're going to thunk it, and if it sounds kind of hollowy-ish, it's ready to go. Okay, guys, we're going to get these in the oven. Oh man, oh man, oh man. These are going to be fabulous. And there we have it. So we'll see you back here in 20 to 30 minutes. All right. Well, that was fun. So I came in and I checked them at 20 minutes. They weren't done yet. They're done now. We're going to pull them out so you can see these beauties. Holy cow. The dogs are back in the house. They decided they're far too poodly for this kind of weather. Yeah, my big 150-pound dogs, they're too poodly for this. Y'all, I'm going to score some major brownie points tonight. Look at these. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, my mercy. Oh, wow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I made good use of my oven heat too this morning. Tell you what I did. I have a new cast iron bread loaf pan. And what I do anytime I get a new cast iron piece, I get it all seasoned. They always say that they're pre-seasoned. I don't believe it. So anyway, so I seasoned it real well. And then I put it in the oven. Yeah. The entire time the bread was baking, yeah, that cast iron loaf pan was in there. Just to extra cure it. Make sure that there's absolutely no moisture anywhere. Anyway, that's what I did. All right, so this is our loaded bacon cheddar bread. It's a hit. I have made this so many different times for so many different people, and they love it. Guys, it's fabulous just with mayonnaise and tomatoes. It's wonderful as grilled cheese. It's wonderful by itself. And like I said, we're having it with soup tonight. Fabulous. So that's going to wrap it for this one. Wow. You know, ugly, muddy days you can still find the joy. I'm glad you came and hung out with me today. So until I see you next time, keep looking up. Say thank you. Do it often. Keep your attitude of gratitude. God bless you. And we will catch you on the flip. See ya.